As Dr. Dre once sang, welcome to the next episode. The bodywork preparation is 95% complete and I'm ready to get it in the workshop. There's a couple of things that I've been doing though. One of the reasons why it's out here, mainly because you've got to do stuff like mopping the floor. It's so handy. If you haven't got the benefit of a big expensive paint booth, mopping the floor can work wonders for not getting a load of fallout in your paint and stuff, you know. And in this episode we're going to be painting this car. I'm so excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. I've also spent a lot of this morning giving the car a good sort of wash with soapy water, that type of thing, just making it very, very clean before it goes back in. We're still going to clean it with other stuff, but that's just to get the majority of the crap off, all the dust and things, before it goes in this dust-free environment, which I'm going to tell you now is not dust-free. It's as dust-free as I can get it though. What I want to do now is get it inside there, up on axle stands, and I'll tell you for why. Beautiful! Now I've done this because when you're spraying, I've got a gravity-fed spray gun, which means it doesn't work if I turn it upside down. And I need to get all up in here. I've also got to get these wheels and tyres off. Now these tyres they've still got the knobbles on, look, I don't know if you can see. Brand new Kumos, really good tyres. Volkswagen used Kumos when they were all at the factory. Proper good tyres, and I'm hoping they're going to fit my new alloy wheels. So I'm going to pull these wheels off, get them loaded into one of the vehicles, and I'll take them to a tyre shop and see if they can work their magic. And since the last episode, as you can see here, I've been doing loads more paintwork prep to it, loads more sanding, and just hours and hours and hours of sanding. But I finally got it to a point where I'm kind of happy with it. But that grey primer that we looked at in the last episode, not massively keen. So it's all right, but I've had to, when I tried to take it down, it clumps, which I don't know, just not massively keen on. I mean, I've rubbed it down, okay, everything's good, but it took a lot of work to get the bonnet to where it is after I put the primer on. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to my yellow primer, do the rest of the car in that. But we'll use some grey primer to do like the sills where it doesn't have to be too flat and stuff, like in the boot, bottom of the boot lid, you know, all those types of things. We'll use some grey primer on those, but then the top of the car we'll use the yellow stuff. So did you enjoy the first episode? Was it fun? Was it good? So, you know, a lot of effort and time and work went into that, and we're going to be doing the same thing here. It's also now Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and then I have one more week in which to get this finished and out to you. It's a big ask, so let's just crack on. First thing I need to do is do a serious bit of masking, but I can't mask straight away. We've got to panel wipe and clean where we're going to stick the masking to, and again I will tell you for why. Because I'm painting sort of these bits here around the edge, I can't mask like that. I need to mask under here, like that. And that means that this masking tape has got to be able to put up with a lot, because I've then got to put another piece over that so we can mask the entire interior. And if behind here, I mean, look, it's just falling off. It's covered in crap and dust and everything. So I'm going to have to go behind everything and clean it so the masking tape sticks really nicely behind there. And I also want to reiterate while we're here that, look, you know, the previous person has just painted onto this window seal. I have taken windows out of old British cars before. It is a ball ache. I haven't got time for that. It's so much time and effort. These as well, I started to take them off and then it got a little bit, everything was going to snap, so I'm just going to do a nice masking job of them. Someone beeping the horn. And this, once we've masked it and done it, I'm going to clean. Who's beeping the horn? I'm going to clean all this off so it'll look all nice afterwards, so you won't see any of that blue, which will be good. but much, much, much quicker, much easier than taking the windscreen out. I'm ready to start masking. Look at how good condition everything is in this car. Really, really smart. Doesn't want for anything apart from a good paint. This bit of the car is, this is an entirely sort of different job in itself. So I'm painting to this line here, okay? All of this I'm not painting. Now this should be body coloured in here. And the reason I'm not painting it is because I need to replace this master cylinder, which I've got, but I don't want to paint it and then change it, and I can't change it before because I haven't got time. I need to get this video out to you, so I don't want to be changing a master cylinder with potentially very old, very corrosive brake fluid in it on my nice new shiny paintwork. What can be done though is, if enough people do watch this these videos, this little mini series, I could potentially do an engine overhaul and detailing episode on this car, where I get the rattle cans out, we paint this body colour, because you could do that with rattle cans, it'd be easy. Remove everything, replace all, like all these rubbers and stuff, you can buy these, replace a lot of this stuff, give this a good clean, paint the rocker cover, clean the fan up, the front, the bottles, give it a good service. I could do all that in another episode later on, or the next owner of the car could do it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me dress this engine bay up and make it look underneath there, because I won't mind doing that. Sounds like a bit of fun. All this interior's got to be masked up, and those of you familiar with the last two episodes will know this seat is bogus. It has underneath here a big tear in it somewhere. It's along this seam here where it sort of got sad. That silver stuff was the stickiest thing bit of gaffer tape I've ever come across in my life. But you can see this is all sad, and I can't have this. It looks crap. The car's going to be really nice after this, and I don't want to. That be the first thing you see when you jump in. So a friend of mine is going to have a look at this for me. I've got to take it out though and give it to her, and she's going to sew things and stuff. So let's get this seat out. So yeah, now this is out, you can see that, yeah, it needs a little bit of fettling. You can buy brand new seat bases for these, but they're hugely expensive. Underneath it looks okay. I think it's split because all this foam is just dead, so I'm going to ask her to put some new foam in it for me as well, so it bumps it up a bit. bit short in here, so let's have a look at what inside a car that's been masked looks like. Oh, it's like being in a womb, I'd imagine. Very cool. Bloody hell, time consuming, isn't it? But we're on. We are on with the masking. There's 2 rolls of masking tape on there. Little doorway there, look. But we are ready to lay primer down. I've just got to put a towel over the exhaust and the 2 rear hubs. I've managed to use this very handy bit of timber to prop the bonnet open in such a position where I can get into everything to paint it. So I'm not going to have to be opening and closing things while I'm painting. Maybe the boot to get into there, but we'll see. All looks pretty good though, doesn't it? I'm quite excited to get this into one colour. God, there's some fumes coming out of that. Woo! So I'm going to use the grey stuff on the more inconspicuous areas rather than the big flat panels. And I'm going to mix up a healthy batch, probably 500 mils worth of stuff, which is 250 in the paint, the primer, and 250 on the activator, because it is 1:1. Lovely, look at that. And, good luck, a splash of thinners. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to mix this, put this in the gun, and then we're going to do the first step of the spraying on process, which is wiping the entire car down, cleaning the entire car down in panel wipe, which is going to get rid of all of those contaminants. And it's going to take ages to do. We're almost ready to turn this baby into one colour-ish. Time for an air bath first though, just to get rid of all the little bits that you've just disturbed by cleaning it. We're ready for paint. A couple of things to remember is to turn your cap into the painting position and then put a mask on in case your mum's watching. Let's use this boot as our test bed. Coming out a little bit thick, maybe need a little bit more air pressure, I think. Whoa. Getting a lot of mileage out of this. It's coming out really well. Possibly a little bit too much coming out, but it seems to be sitting really nicely, so I'm going to leave it now to sort of do its thing for 15 minutes. Still got probably that much left, and then we'll do it again. It's going on pretty nicely. So we're sort of getting ready for the other primer, and the problem I've got is that I haven't got as much of it as I'd like, which is a little bit annoying. But thankfully the bonnet's already in primer, it just needs primer in some other places. But yeah, I'm just sort of draining that can into there now. Far from ideal. And if you're wondering why I'm not sort of discussing all the primers and stuff and all the steps with that, it's because we did it in the last episode, and you've got to watch these things in order. And it got me thinking as well, there's like so many videos out there, and I get a lot of comments, people go, I can't find this video, have you done a part 2 to this, where's part 2 to that? Best way to watch videos on YouTube is via playlists. Go through the playlists on my thing and just pick whichever playlist you like the look of, like, oh, there's a playlist on a Panhard Dyna Z, let me watch those 10 episodes, and it'll just play them one after the other. It's great. Public service announcement. Okay, I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes, I think, just for this to really dry, because I don't want to sort of mix the two primers too much. And then, yeah, we'll start laying it on. Okay. Say goodbye to the blue. Goodbye, blue. Oh. We're looking all right. We've got a couple of little marks that we need to sort of take care of, like that there. I don't know if you can see, but that's where I accidentally touched it. And this here, we are, I don't think, is that, no, the light's worse, isn't it? Yeah, reactions. But it's not a problem, we can rub these down and reapply, because I've got some primer in a can. Everything else is looking all right apart from the other door and here. Same again. Doesn't like something that's under there. It's weird, it's just where it's gone through to a coat of something. I don't know what the coat is. But there as well. So, and a little bit up here, but not too bad. Everything else is okay though, and we're looking nice. So I'm using a can of this stuff, and I am getting there. I'm not totally winning yet, but a lot of the reactions are going. I just need to keep sort of sanding back and filling and sanding back and priming, you know, all that good stuff. It's taking sweet time, and I've had to bring out the big guns just to get the primer to dry a little bit faster. It's just my luck. The last few days have been such lovely temperature, and it's now raining and it's gone very cold just when I want to paint. And I really want to get the paint down today because I'm away for the next 2 days, and it would be so good if it was in lacquer, just letting that harden for the next 2 days. It's not the end of the world though if we can't, but I'm going to try my best to do it. Can't be too mad at it either, because it's, you know, I'm happy that it's doing it at this stage, not when we're chucking paint on or lacquer on. That would be bad, but it still might happen. Having to dig really deep here. I mean, with hindsight, I should have probably just gone a lot further when I was sanding these doors, but time and stuff, you know. But you can see it's this green. I don't know what this green is, but whatever this green is, that's what's causing the reaction. Bit of a pain. But there we go. Keep going. I've managed to get the reactions out of this door, which is spurring me on. Tiny little bit there, and then there's a bit there which I'm not entirely happy with, so I might rub that down when that primer's dried, but at least I know that they can come out, which is really, really good. But the other side, it's just painful, man. Absolutely painful. I'm just on it with the 600, 1200, I've got some 800 as well, and I'm just going through it just on this little bit here. So I'm going to give that a wipe down and then another bit of primer, but really eating into my painting time. I don't want to rush this, do you know what I mean? I just want to sort of like do a nice job. I seem to have got rid of the reactions from these two panels here. There or thereabouts. What I wanted to say, I'm losing my mind, I think, being in here. What I wanted to say was 600 is the best sandpaper. Forget all other sandpapers, just use 600 for everything and you'll be fine. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, and with reactions as well, I don't know if this is like legit. If you're a scientist, let me know. But instead of just putting a big thick layer on, is that dry? Just do like the tiniest little dusting and just keep building it up with tiny little dustings, and that seems to work with the other reactions. I don't know. If you're a scientist, let me know. Got this one here to do. One of the problems is I've created a lot of dust. So I'm like, you know, do I want to sort of clean the whole car down again and paint and lacquer and all this sort of stuff? By the time I finish, it might be like very late at night and it'll be super cold, and then the lacquer might run and all these sorts of bad things. So it probably is looking like a tomorrow job. But we're looking good there. I am pleased to report that we have defeated the sort of evil green reactor that massively halted our progress there, and I've been battling for the last sort of couple of hours. Although I've just done that bit, I've seen another bit's come through there, fuck's sake. So I'll get that in the morning. Hello, it's another day and I'm getting very close. This is the morning of the day where I'm supposed to be doing something else. It's record store day tomorrow. Those of you that have follow my adventures know that I do record stuff as well, and yeah, I'm just sort of getting all of the last little bits, any other little marks out that I can, but we're looking good everywhere else. But there's just a couple of little bits I wasn't happy with, so I thought I'd just go over those. Here's another top tip for you. Before you put your colour on, it doesn't take very long to do this, get yourself a nice new clean microfiber and rub it over your paint, and it sticks because it's rough. So get yourself a sheet of 1200 and just very lightly just take all that sort of roughness off it, and that's just going to help you get a really nice finish. Make sure you don't pick anything up like I just did then. and you'll feel the difference instantly. As you do that, it just glides over it like it's on glass, and you can see all the crap that you're picking up there. So you're going to go through a few of these, but it's going to make the world of difference. And as you're doing it, you're going to find any little spots that need to be taken down of like fallout or dust that's happened, that's just going to make for a much nicer paint job. Silky smooth. Do that to the whole car. So we're ready. I've given the car an air bath, and now I need to, my sole focus now is to reduce the amount of dust in this building. So I'm going to do that by shutting the door, giving everywhere a sweep up and a blow over and stuff, and then I'm going to get, where's it gone? Right there. I'm going to get this bad boy and give the floor a mop, leaving it a bit wet, which is the first time we're trying this, but a lot of people have suggested it in the past, and I thought I'd give it a go. But if the floor's wet, all the dust, when it drops, it sticks and it doesn't come back up again, and that could be huge for us in terms of what our finish looks like, and whether or not, you know, I'd love to get to a position at the end of this where there's no sort of wet sanding or anything to do. It's just out the gun, out the door. That would be the dream. Let's see if we can achieve it. Doors shut, floor, ice skating rink mode. Really good, glad I did that. Big tub of Peugeot KJR. Peugeot Anglo-French partnership. Hey, Red Bull, if you're watching, sponsor me. Where's that stuff I had last time? Oh, that is a large tub of green paints. And we're about to throw it at a Triumph. In she goes. In total, there's probably, I don't know, like, maybe 150 quid's worth of base coats that I'll be using on the car. And then probably 60 quid's worth of lacquer, and a lot less primer than I wanted to. I wanted to put a lot more primer on it than it's got. So probably 40 quid's worth of primer. So a few quid in paint, but not bad. But it's a very small car. Remember, there's no roof that we're painting. There's no sort of other doors apart from the front two. It's very, very small. Doesn't require a lot. If I painted like a Volkswagen Charan, it would be a lot more. Who remembers the Charan? Like a Galaxy, wasn't it? Great rebadged Galaxy, and something else as well. Seat Alhambra, that was it. Good cars. So 250 of this and 250 of thinners, and a splash of extra thinners for good luck. How can I pour this out here without getting it everywhere? Right then, I'm going to mix this up, and I'm going to put it in the gun, and I'm going to give the car a panel wipe all over again, and then a tack cloth, and then we're going to spray some colour. In here is a tack cloth. It's like a sticky, I don't know what it is, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's good for us. The reason you want to get your paint and stuff in the cup ready to go is that you want to be spraying as soon as you wipe this down, because this is what's just taking that last little, any specks, dirt, muck off the car. Get it off, spray on as fast as you can. Not as fast as you can, but you know, good. Don't wait hard, don't do this and then go and have your lunch and then come back and paint it, is what I mean. Okay. Are we actually about to paint this car after all this work? I forgot to mention, the booth on Triumph Spitfires doubles up as a paint booth for all of the other parts. Handy, isn't it? Okay, let's start in the most inconspicuous area, down here. Not getting any fan action. What's going on? Better. I'm only giving it a sort of a light coat there because I just want to get it first coat, light coat, and I'll go on heavier, turn it, mixture up a bit. Weird, like the settings were, we dialed them in the other day in the last episode, and then it's coming out differently straight away, which is really, really frustrating. But I'm going to do it as we go. This is so cool. It's all one colour, and it looks awesome, even though it's, well, it's only had a little dusting. I'm now going to go over, if you've seen in my other painting videos, and sort of do all of the edges. I like to put a big thick layer on all of the edges, because that's where, if you're going to mop or whatever, as in polish, that's where you're going to burn through first. So I like to just go around all of these bits and just give them that extra sort of thick edge. So I'm going to do that all over the car now, and I'll show you afterwards. It's a bit fumey in here. Looking good though. Sort of laid down some extra thick bits on the edges. And we're looking nice. Not really done much in the boot yet, because I just want to make sure I've got enough paint on the outside, because the boot doesn't matter hugely. But yeah, going to give this a few minutes, doesn't need much, and then we're going to do another coat. Sit rep is, as I've sort of been waiting for things to dry, we have had a couple of reactions which I've managed to rub down, and these are now all smooth again. But I'm just concerned that we're going to see something once it's been painted, but I don't know, maybe we might get away with it, I don't know. But yeah, I've had a couple. Okay, let's give the bonnet one full coat. Looks amazing from your house, doesn't it? But alas, I am going through a world of pain. Oh man. Reaction City. just, they're popping up, man. They're popping up. It's not the end of the world though. I'm not going to let it sort of knock my spirit. It's just time, man. I need to get this video out to you, and the car is not playing ball. We're all right sort of down there. Up here though, just again, so frustrating. I've got a few little fish eyes down here. I haven't got any of that fish eye remover before anybody suggests it in the comments. I've just got, there's just some areas I'm just not totally happy with at all. Trying to work out the best way to approach this. I mean, you know, the positives are the majority of the car is absolutely wicked. It looks great. You know, like the bonnet and everything's just good as gold. A couple of weird little patches where I'm just going to have to lay loads more base coat on it, but yeah, looking good. This door as well at the top here, just very, very frustrating, very frustrating. So I've decided to give up. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. All right, okay, I haven't really, but I have decided to park it there for today. And the reason being is I've been speaking to my mate who is a paint professional, and I sent him a picture and I've just been like, what's my best course of action here, mate? And he says I need to get a thing called bar coat and put that on it. He says it's the solvents that are reacting with the old paint that's still on the car, which, you know, there's about 10 different old paints on the car. So I've got to go now to the paint place, see if they've got any of this bar coat, pick some up, and then I'm gonna go and do my other things, head back, hopefully Sunday, rub it down, just in the bits that need it, because there's a lot of it that's still absolutely fine, apply this bar coat, rub it all down again, make sure we've got no reactions, and then we'll start back where we were supposed to be a couple of hours ago. Fine. And then, because, you know, again, like with the primer, you can't be too mad that it's at this stage, because at least we've not got the lacquer on and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, always look at, I'm just looking at the positives. We've got some carbo and epoxy primer. This is hopefully what the doctor ordered to make that thing in there less reacty. It is though 2 days later. I'm behind, I'm very behind. But I've spent most of my life rubbing this thing back down, creating loads of lovely dust. And just, yeah, getting rid of all of those reactions. That was an absolute nightmare, that one there. But there's just stuff everywhere. It's just been hours and hours of sanding again. But I've managed to do a couple of little bits that I wasn't particularly happy with as well, because I thought I might as well while I was there. But yeah, just, oh man, so much work. We are all nice and smooth now though. And I'm ready to get this bar coat on the vehicle. Fortunately as well, it's quite warm today. It's Sunday, it's like 14 odd degrees, 15 maybe, which is gorgeous. Not that I'm out enjoying it, but it is nice. And there's no wind, which is even better, which means I can spray the majority of this with the door open, which is nice, isn't it? Because it's like a big window to the outside world. So this stuff, it's ready for use, one coat, no need to sand. That's the dream, isn't it? All you've got to do is mix it and put it into the gun, which would be so good, and then we can spray it on. I do need to give this thing another wipe down again though, and an air bath, and just do all of that stuff again, just repeat processes that I've done 1,000 times, and then we'll spray it on. It's super, like, it needs loads of mixing. There's like lumps in the bottom. I'm going to have to do a nice mixing job of this, I think, before I stick it in the gun. The bar coat is in the gun. I've put like that much in there. I don't know. Big shout out to Jace from Castle Sandblasting, my mate who helped me out with discovering this and telling me how to sort of apply it and stuff. He says try and do 5 or 6 very light dustings. Let's give that a go then, eh? Shall I put my mask on? No, it'll be fine. It's coming out well. Very fast drying. Let's just keep doing that for 6 coats and let's see where we get to. I'm on coat number 4 and so far it would look as though I am sort of, the battle is starting to turn in my favour, which is nice, isn't it? But we're not a full sort of wet coat on there yet. I don't mean like I'm going to do a wet coat on it. I mean, we're not like complete coverage is what I mean. Getting there though. I've closed the bonnet as well and moved the other stuff over there just because I needed to sand all this and had to do it with the boot closed. And I'm worried that I'm not going to have enough green left now because I've got to put loads more green everywhere. So I'm not going to really be doing inside the boot in green, I don't think, unless we've got loads left. We'll see. So we're on, and I mean, apart from this one, wow! There aren't any reactions. So, yeah, dead cool. Quite pleased so far. I'm just going to hit it with a load of epoxy primer in the sort of big areas where there was problems. And we'll see if we get anything bubbling up through that, you know. We've now had a coat of the epoxy primer and still no reactions apart from this one. Thank God for that. And I'm about to give it a sort of, give the whole thing, including the bonnet, because we've got some fallout on it, a 1200. Everywhere, the whole car, 1200. And just take down any little bits of fallout or anything that we've got on there. And then I'm going to sweep the floor. And then I'm going to mop the floor. And then I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Maybe shut that. And then I'm going to clean the car. And then I'm going to degrease it. And then I'm going to blow everything off. And then I'm going to apply some colour. Please, please let this be A, enough colour, and B, not explode with reactions. See you in half an hour. I just want to sort of point out how much of an important step this bit is. Just to sort of get that nice flat lacquer at the end. Because you see how sort of smooth that is now? That is as rough as toast. So you've just got to make it all nice like that. And I know it's a ball ache, but you've got to do it. And I know that these videos are very, very long. And I know there's a lot of other sort of channels that will do a full respray in like an hour and, you know, they'll just cut loads of stuff out. But I've always tried to sort of keep everything I do here quite real life. And sort of, you know, this, I know this is a long process, but I've probably cut out already 40 hours worth of stuff. How much more can I cut out? You know what I mean? This is just how long it takes. Shall I do an unedited version one day of sort of like 100 hours on a car? I don't know if it's 100 hours. It's 2 solid weeks, whatever that is. Anyway, I'd better carry on. Okay, here we go. It's nice doing it with the door open. It's not as fumey. And that's our first coat. Let's pray to our Lord and Saviour, JC, Jeremy Clarkson. And we'll see if we get any reactions. It's annoying as well. I'm having to walk around. I look like I've shit myself because the floor's wet. And I'm sort of walking around like this so I don't slip over. But I haven't, just because the floor's wet. Okay. Okay, don't get too excited, but it's looking good so far anyway. Problem I've got is that this is the sort of one full cup left, and I'm sort of trying to get as much in there as I can, and I might get another half a cup out of that. And so far we've not got enough paint down in some areas. In some areas we have. I'm pretty happy with the bonnet so far. I've still got to do a couple of little bits along the edges. And I've done my control coats at the top. And like a control coat, and I don't know if I'm making this up, but I'm telling you because I'm sure I taught myself how to do it off YouTube a few years ago. With a metallic, you've got to try and, if you just go locally with it all the time, your metallic's going to lay different. If that's a real thing or not, I don't know. So get your colour on, and then your last coat you're sort of doing from quite far away, and you're just laying it so it lands evenly. So you don't get any sort of, you can see, I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but it's quite even all over. And that's, you know, you're sort of just going from a height down. Doesn't matter on solid colours really, but metallic colours, it's just nice to do it. I've just got to get all of this colour in the places that need it most right now. But so far, no reactions. Apart from this one. I can taste green. I think we're done. Cool. I've managed to get done with the paint I've got. Control coats on everything. Still a little bit wet in places, which is why it probably looks a little bit patchy on camera. Back. But we are all green and there's no reactions, apart from a tiny little bit here, which is super frustrating. Why the bonnet? Why now? I don't know, but it's not too bad. So what I'm thinking of doing is just lacquering everything anyway, and then I'll rub it down out of the lacquer. It's too hot to wear my hat as well, but I've got to, because I don't want to glue all my hair together. Now, you see how this one's all wet? I think what I've got to do before I even think about lacquering it is allow this to gas off. Is that a thing? I think what it means is, and I'm going to get corrected in the comments here, but the solvents in the thinners and all that sort of stuff inside the paint, if I put lacquer on it too soon, they want to evaporate and go off into space and put holes in the ozone layer. Sorry about that. But it's nice and warm, isn't it? And if you were to seal them in with lacquer, they would sort of pop through and you'd get marks in the lacquer. I think that's what it is. So I've got to wait now for probably, I don't know, half an hour, something like that. But I'll keep looking at it. And then we're going to put some lacquer on it, and I'm going to do it today. I've decided. I might go to the shop and get some lunch while I'm waiting. I'm back, and it's still looking good. Couple more fuck-ups. I accidentally touched this with the bloody air pipe. I don't know what it's called anymore. I don't know where I am. While I was doing this bit round here, and I've messed that up, so I'm going to have to wait for that to dry, 600 it, and get it with a little bit of paint that I've just managed to scrape out the tin. So, not the end of the world. There was something else, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, we've got a bit of a reaction right in the middle there, but it's not too bad, so we'll get it with the lacquer again, you know. It's looking good though, and look, you know, we're not dealing with huge reactions. thank God for that. Okay, so this stuff, Nuova Formula 2K clear coat, and you put in one of this, half of this, and then a splash of thinners for good luck. Dead easy. Got to clean that gun thoroughly after I've just used it, because it's my only gun after the primer gun. So give that a proper good clean afterwards, and then we're going to be laying down clear coat until I go home. Just mixing the lacquer now. This is definitely the most sort of nerve-wracking part of the whole painting process, is putting lacquer on the car, because there's no going back from here, is there? You know, paint's in the gun. Here's a tack cloth coming out of its packet. I'm now going to give the car a quick wipe over, and then we're going to spray some clear coat on this thing, or lacquer, as us Brits call it. I'm excited. This is potentially the last step in the process. Maybe. Apart from rebuilding the bloody thing, of course. Now remember, this is just a light dusting. We're not going to get carried away here. Okay. Oh, my mask. Nearly ended up with very shiny lungs then, didn't I? Just let that do its thing for a few minutes, you know. Oh, sticking to my arms. That's why you see people in those big white suits when they're painting, but too hard for that, man. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Yeah. I forgot these bits, you know, the bits that were in the boot. Oh, what a pain. So I'm going to have to, I can't just lacquer them, they need loads more colour. So I'm going to go to the paint place tomorrow and we'll get some rattle cans of the colour and some lacquer. And we'll do them with rattle cans. It's crazy in here. Woo! We have this thing over here, which we did a couple of little tests on. Okay. And then this here, which we laid on a little bit thicker, was still quite sticky there. So what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to mix up another batch and I'm going to give it another light coat. I'm not going to put a wet coat on it yet. I'm going to give it another light coat and we'll see where we get to. Oh my God! Look at this shiny thing! Woo! That's nice. Now I'm only sort of my first big coat in, and I have one run, which I don't even think is actually a run. I think it might be a drip from the gun, because nothing else is running. So I'll have to get that after, but my gun finish is coming up pretty good. Pretty happy with this so far. Still a lot of dry places, which I've got to get into, but I'm going to leave this to sort of set for a little bit longer. But God, it's looking nice. Needs, yeah, still a little bit dry there, and here as well. Down here it's Reaction City, because of course when I hit that I rubbed it back, painted it, and there was stuff underneath. Fuck up number 5. I think this sort of boot lid is done. I'm not going to do any more on this. I think this area here is pretty nice. I might just put a little bit more over it on the other side, but I think that's pretty good. Some fallout in there, a few little marks, but I'm hoping a lot of those are going to go as it dries overnight. And the back, that's all done. That's all boxed off. Looking gorgeous. And yeah, a bit dry on this wing here, so we need to get some more on there. But in a lot of places were all right. And I just put a thick coat on this door, and again, it's starting to look good, starting to look really good. But could definitely do with being a tiny bit wetter, I think. But it's still got, I mean, this is still wet, so it's still got to dry and sink in, and I think it'll dry quite nicely. But down here, got a few marks. Overall though, I really like this lacquer. This lacquer is really nice. Working wonders. And this car, it's going to look the business. Look at that colour. Oh my God. And I've had to open that a bit as well, because it's just, it's too much, man. It's too much. I might open it even more because there's no wind. In fact, let's do it. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but can you see like the fumes sort of belching out of the workshop? Whew. God, that thing looks smart. What a colour. What a colour. I'm infatuated. I really am. I'm wondering if it'd be possible, now that sort of the inside bits, you know, I'm happy with those, whether I can now drop the bonnet, because if it's, the flatter it is, the thicker I can lay the lacquer down. I've been here for almost sort of 10 hours now, and I'm starting to be able to smell colours and read people's thoughts, which is really weird considering there's nobody else here but me. The car's painted. I've cleaned my gun for hopefully the last time. Fingers crossed. Now I have got a couple of fuck-ups. Fuck-up number 7 and 8 is a run. The very, very light runs there and there. That's one run. And this door, just, I don't know if you can see that there. Again, very, very light run. Be able to make light work of getting that out. Oh look, and I've just spotted another one there. Okay, so fuck up 7, 8 and 9. 6, 7, 8 and 9, I think. I've lost count now. And also, well, okay, we'll call fuck up number 10. I had a rag on the end of my gun made out of tissue paper, and I fired it at this bonnet. And yeah, it sort of got stuck in there. Oh, I've taken it out now, so hopefully that'll lie flatter. And yeah, there's other bits, so I'm gonna try and get those out. The car looks amazing though, and while it's still wet, I'm going to take the masking off. But why? Well, it should leave less of a hard line if you do it when it's still wet. And because I've masked around door handles and stuff, just make it a little bit nicer if I did that. I mean, to say I'm sort of happy with it is understatement of the century, isn't it, really? This thing is the dog's danglies. And, you know, look at, you know, you can do well with the masking, you know. That's all the rubber there. Look how perfect that is. You can see the blue. I've just got to clean that off once everything's dried with a bit of panel wipe and stuff. But Save you taking the windscreen out, man. Just do a good job of the masking. Oh man, I'm just in love with it. And the finish out the gun is starting to, as time goes on, it's starting to get even better. Super proud of it. So glad I went for this colour instead of just the normal blue. There's plenty of the standard blue Spitfires out there, but this is the only one in that colour. This is the only one, and it just looks the business. Whoa, knocked my water bottle over. Oh, so good, so good. So what's the plan now then? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to sort of leave this for a day. It's Monday tomorrow. I've got a few things I could do with doing. I've got some wheels and tyres I need to go and get changed. I need to go and buy some more paint and stuff. And I've got a few jobs at home I need to do. So I'm going to leave this until Tuesday, really. I can't stop looking at it. Sorry, stop looking at it. And then when I come back, we're going to put the wheels on, we're going to put the new headlights on, we're going to take the rest of the masking off, we're going to put it back on the ground, we're going to do loads of cool stuff, and then we're going to completely rebuild it and take it for a drive. I'm super excited, but I'm going to save all of that for the last Triumph Spitfire episode, which is, well, the last Triumph Spitfire episode for this week anyway. And that's due out, hopefully for you, Saturday, I think. We'll go for maybe Sunday at a push, but we'll see how we get on. So I hope you like it. I hope you like the colour. I hope you like how it's turned out, you know. And do me a favour, if you've enjoyed this couple of episodes so far, please hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, let me know. Just do all that algorithm related stuff, and then everything will be good, and I can keep doing this kind of thing, because I do enjoy it, even though I am going a little bit mad in here. I do enjoy it. And I love what I've created. Do you? I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.